Edge Designations, CFA Level 1, introductory video for the Level 1 2025 exam cycle. The purpose of this video is really twofold. Number one, just to introduce you to the CFA Level 1 program for 2025, to discuss what perhaps has changed since 2024, okay, as well as to look at what you can expect from the CFA program for 2025. In addition, just a brief look at what we as Edge Designations Prep provides to the CFA program can offer you to assist you for your CFA Level 1 studies. Let's get going straight away. First and foremost, let's talk about the CFA Level 1 program for 2025. And fairly good news for most candidates. Perhaps if you were not successful in 2024 and you've studied the syllabus already, very little in the way of change for 2025. Okay, and one of the changes, the highlighted change, I suppose, for 2025 comes from the ethics section. And even when we say that there's been changes in the ethics section, they are not massive changes, okay, in that there are three little changes that have been made to ethics in terms predominantly of the fact that the SPC, the Standards of Professional Conduct, which makes up a large portion, of course, of the ethics syllabus, have had three little changes made to them. And the biggest one of those three little changes is that there has been added one standard of professional conduct. There used to be 22 small standards, now there's 23, and they've added in standard 1E, which is competence, and not a crazy difficult addition for that matter. The other two little changes to ethics, again, to the standards of professional conduct, are quite small as well. So essentially, whenever I get asked, have there been any real changes for 2025? The truth is not really. A lot of those changes happened in 2024. Just to have a quick look at the syllabus in terms of how it looks in 2025 in terms of its exam weightings. As per usual, ethics carries the highest weight between 15 and 20%. And as you can see, of course, guys, over there, that all of the weightings for CFA Level 1 are now in ranges. So it ranges from 15 to 20%. That's not an exact amount. Quants, 6 to 9% of your total. Economics shares the same as does corporate issuers. They all carry a fairly low-ish weighting of 6 to 9%, well, lowish in terms of where we get to the higher weightings. Okay, financial statement analysis, which is essentially, a lot of guys like to call it the accounting section. I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but financial statement analysis carries 11 to 14%, as do two other of the asset classes, being equities and fixed income. Derivatives carries a fairly low weighting, which I'm sure some people will be quite happy about. People generally find it a bit challenging. That carries a 5 to 8% exam weighting. Alternative investments, which is the fourth asset class of the four, carries a 7 to 10% exam weighting, with portfolio management rounding off the 10 topics at 8 to 12% exam weighting. So it's quite easy to see that ethics is highly important at CFA Level 1, carrying the highest exam weighting, followed then by financial statement analysis, fixed income and equities. Those all carry 11 to 14%, and those are your big ones that you can see from CFA Level 1. The others do carry fairly sizable weightings, but not quite the size of those we call them the big four over there. Looking at what changed, and this change wasn't a 2025 change, this change was a 2024 change, where CFA Institute took three big sections, okay, economics, quants, and financial statement analysis, and they took these big sections out of what we call the core readings, the core syllabus, and they put them into what we call a prerequisite or pre-reading section. Okay, and it's a significant amount of material that has been moved across out of core material to pre-read sections. Okay, very important to notice about this that the CFA say, particularly for these particular pre-reads, economics, quants, and financial statement analysis, they are not examinable. Okay, so what a lot of candidates do, they say, oh, fantastic, CFA Level 1 syllabus has just been reduced significantly. The truth is that, yes, it has been reduced significantly, but it's important to remember that these are what we call foundational topics. What I mean by that is you can't start to do quants at the core level of CFA unless you already know the quant section in the pre-reads. CFA have now assumed that a lot of candidates coming out of college, etc., have got a fair amount of knowledge already. So a bit of an assumption made by CFA Institute that these three sections, which have now been put into pre-reads, okay, a large component of them, yes, of course, you still see them over here. There they are. There's economics, okay, for you. There's quants for you, and there's financial statement analysis. So they're still, of course, in the core readings, but a lot of the reading has been taken out of that and put into what we call pre-reads. Pre-reads are not examinable, but I always caution my students that unless you are very familiar with these topics, economics, quants, and financial statement analysis, at the foundational level, okay, always best to go back and do the pre-reads anyway. That'll give you the basis, that'll give you the foundation. Here at Edge, we provide a complete set of notes, videos, and questions on the entire pre-reads. I'm not comfortable for candidates, unless they're really, really familiar with the pre-read section, to start the core material over here, quants, economics, and financial analysis, until they are familiar with that. Because to jump into those sections at this level over here without knowing the foundations is not going to end well. If you do have a good foundation, well, then then yes, of course, you can jump into the core readings. If you don't, I don't advise starting at the core readings. Start at the pre-read section and go through those sections, keeping in mind, of course, things like economics, quants. They come with you into level 2 as well. So very worthwhile to get a good foundation in those particular areas. Okay, but again, as mentioned, this was a 2024 change, no change to 2025, same as it was in 2024. In terms of the PSM, everyone talks about the PSM. PSM stands for Practical Skills Modules. At the level 1, you need to pick one practical skills module. What CFA is trying to do over here is trying to get you workplace ready. Whether or not one skills module is going to be sufficient to get you workplace ready is debatable, but so be it. Okay, at a level 1 level, you can either do financial modeling, Python programming fundamentals, and you just choose one of them. Some lovely material, very worthwhile, and lots to gain over there. Okay, but just remember that you don't need to do the PSM before your exam, but you do need to do the PSM in order to get your results. In other words, if you write, for example, CFA level 1 in you can see the first exam window over here being the 17th of Feb, and you write your exam, then typically 3 to 4 weeks later your exam results will come out. You have to have done the PSM, one of them, by the time exam results come out. Otherwise you will not get your exam results. They won't release your exam results until you've done the PSM. Just something important to remember. And some lovely stuff also for level 2. You've got analyst skills, Python, data science, and AR. Some nice stuff over there. Again, choices to be made at the level 2 level, but this is a level 1 video, so we continue onwards with level 1. The exam itself, dates and times. Okay, there, as we know for CFA level 1, there are 4 exam windows. Okay, Feb, May, August, and November. And within those particular exam windows, we've got specific ranges of times as well. For example, you can see over there in the Feb window, it ranges from 17th to the 23rd of Feb, a nice, fairly sizable exam window from which to choose from. Okay, May as well, 14th to the 20th, 20th to the 26th of August, and November's also got a bit of a range over there. Keep in mind, of course, those that are not familiar with the CFA level 1 system, or CFA system in general, the entire exam is what we call CBT. CBT stands for computer-based testing. Why computer-based testing? Everything is now done on the computer. Okay, and that's why, of course, they give you a range of dates. In the past, when it was called PBT, paper-based testing, okay, when you had to go in and physically write an exam. Okay, that physical exam, everybody wrote it on the same day because there was enough pens, papers, and desks for everybody to write on the same day. Talking about computer-based testing, we don't have sufficient computers for everybody to write on the same day, so we give a bit of a range of times to be able to write over there. In terms of your calculator policy for CFA level 1, 2, and 3, you've got your Texas Instruments BA2+. We often get asked BA2+ only. What about the professional? Yes, the Texas Instruments BA2+ professional is also allowed. And you've got your Hewlett-Packard, your HP 12C. Those are the only two calculators. I get it so frequently from candidates. Can we use the Hewlett-Packard 10B? No. Can we use? No. Sharp calculator? No. Nothing else. These are the only two. And we have had candidates that try going to the exam with a foreign calculator. You will not be allowed to write. So just and just a word of advice: if you haven't yet purchased a calculator and you're not sure which one to purchase, please purchase the Texas calculator. Nothing wrong at all with the HP 12C, but I can give you a bit of advice as a prep provider. Most of the prep providers only teach their candidates on the Texas. So if you're looking for support, you're looking for assistance, Texas is the preferred way, just in terms of that particular idea and concept. And as I say, nothing wrong with the HP 12C, but you may end up having to teach yourself how to use that one because there is not much support provided. Taking a quick look over here, guys, at what will your actual CFA level 1 exam look like. Here's your exam format. The first 30 minutes you come in, pledge, tutorial, and survey. So as you come in, you do all what we call the admin work. Okay. Your exam session 1 is 135 minutes, 2 hours, 15 minutes. You call exam session 1. Okay. And exam session 2 is followed after that with a 30-minute break. What's the difference in these two exams? In terms of your timing, 90 seconds per question. Is that quick? That's quick. You've got to move through them quite quickly. The good news about the multiple choice questions, of course, is that once you've done the question, it's almost like written off. The next question that follows that is a new question. So if you bombed out in one MCQ, it's not going to impact you as you move then to the MCQs that follow thereafter. Okay. You've got a total of 90 questions in both sessions, exam session 1, exam session 2. What's the difference? The only real difference, of course, guys, is what is covered. In other words, in exam session 1, you cover ethics. They normally appear first. Quants, ecos, financial statement analysis, and corporate issues. So of your total topics, you cover 10 of them. Of the total topics of 10, you cover 5 in exam session 1. And you cover 5 in exam session 2. So, for example, when you come to exam session 2, you do equities, fixed income derivatives, and alts, and you say to me, "Oh, well, there we go." You can almost call that is the the 4 major asset classes: equities, fixed income derivatives, and alts. And you do portfolio management in there as well. So once you have written exam session 1, and for example, you've covered ethics over there, etc., coming for exam session 2, there is no ethics there anymore. Of course, you've covered that in the first session. Both exams are 135 minutes, exam session 1, exam session 2, 2 hours 15, a 30-minute break in between. It's optional, but I do suggest that you take it because you do need a bit of a clearing of the head after the exam session 1. And that's what your exam is going to look like at CFA level 1 level. Just to conclude this particular video, okay, and what we have over here is just what Edge Designations as a prep provider can do for you. We have an online program, which is a complete online program, which gives you a complete set of notes, videos, questions, formula sheets, cover the entire CFA level 1 syllabus. Okay. What's nice about this particular option is that, as mentioned a little bit earlier on in the video, as part of this option, we're also going to give you, and it's quite comprehensive, we're going to give you a total of 22 sets of notes, videos, and questions on what we call the pre-reads. I almost insist for my candidates at Edge Designations that we do the pre-reads. Remember, the pre-reads covers economics, quants, and financial statement analysis, and I really want my candidates to go through those as an introduction, and based on that, we included as almost as and it becomes part of the program, a complete set of notes, videos, and questions on all the pre-reads as well. Okay, the revision program, as we get close towards exam time, we give you a complete set of revision notes, revision videos, and 3 full practice exams with solutions. It's a lovely addition to the program, which candidates typically take up anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks before their exam. And if you wanted just a little bit of standalone things to purchase, or you can just purchase questions or notes as almost like a little bit as a standalone, remembering, of course, guys, if you do purchase option number 1, which is the online program, you're anyway going to get option 3 and 4 in there as well, because remember, we do give you a full set of videos and questions in there as well. Option 3 and 4, just a little bit more a la carte. If you want specific stuff only, well, you'd go for there. Option number 5 is 3 full exams in there as well. That brings us to a conclusion of this particular video. Just before we conclude, I will leave you with our web address for those that wish to visit us and see what else we have on offer. www.edge, nice and easy, Edge Designations.com. And if you'd like to reach out to me specifically, let me give you my email address, russellj@edgeebs.co.za. That's if you wanted to make a bit of contact with us. As we conclude this particular video, I hope you benefited from this video. We're going to wish everybody the most amount of success in their CFA Level 1 studies. We never wish people luck. Luck is for people that have not studied. We wish you success with a little bit of luck. Obviously, on exam day, we hope everything goes your way. Okay, but we wish you success as you study CFA Level 1. And please reach out to us if we're able to assist you in any way.